I never thought my camera would become a weapon in a war I didn't start. But there I was, in the heart of Colorado's rugged foothills, staring at the screen of my laptop, watching my mother-in-law,
Victoria Matthews.
delete photos from my cloud drive one by one. Each click felt like she was carving out pieces of my life. She thought she had me cornered, backed into the dusty corners of her sprawling ranch empire. What she didn't know was that I'd already started building my own defenses, quietly, methodically, the way the Rockies build storms on a clear day. My name is Emily Carter, and at 28, I'd built a decent life as a freelance photographer in Denver, specializing in authentic portraits of the West, cowboys at rodeos, families on their homesteads, the raw beauty of the land that shaped us all. That's how I met Jake Matthews, my husband. He was an environmental lawyer fighting big oil companies in courtrooms from Boulder to Cheyenne. We crossed paths at a land conservation fundraiser I was shooting. Him in his crisp button-down, charming donors with that easy Western drawl, me capturing the grit and grace of the event. By the end of the night, we were sharing green chili stew at a late-night diner, trading stories about growing up under wide-open skies. Our wedding was simple, out on Jake's family's ranch near Aspen, a place where aspens whispered secrets and the air smelled of pine and possibility. 40 close friends, my dad's barbecue ribs, and a local bluegrass band strumming under string lights.
Victoria.
Jake's mother had pushed for something grander, a ballroom in Vail, black-tie guests from her real estate circles, the whole society spectacle. But we stuck to our guns, and she spent the reception sipping her single malt scotch, her disapproval hanging thicker than mountain fog. The early months of marriage were golden. We settled into Jake's cabin-style home on the outskirts of Denver, with views of the Front Range that inspired my best work. I turned the sunroom into a studio, landing gigs with ecotourism brands and even a spread in a regional magazine. Jake worked brutal hours, battling fracking permits and water rights disputes. But he'd come home with that tired smile, wrapping me in arms that smelled like courtroom coffee and fresh air. Victoria's barb started small, like prickly pear spines you don't notice until they draw blood. At family barbecues on the ranch, she'd comment on my artsy pursuits with a raised eyebrow. Photography's charming, dear. But when are you getting something steady? Benefits, retirement, real security. She'd gift me high-end Western wear that was always a size too small, saying, I thought it might motivate you to hit the trails more. Always with that polished smile, the kind that hid the venom of a rattlesnake. The turning point came during our family getaway to the Grand Canyon. Victoria had booked a luxury lodge overlooking the rim, calling it a chance to bond under God's country. Jake was excited. His childhood vacations had been rare, marred by his parents' bitter fights before their divorce. I packed my gear, hoping to capture moments that might bridge the gap between us. Instead, it became her hunting ground. She nitpicked everything, my hiking boots, a bit rugged for a lady, don't you think? My trail mix choices, so health-conscious, very California of you. Even my shots of the canyon at dawn, not everything needs to be immortalized. Emily. Some of us prefer to savor the view. But she saved the worst for when Jake was out of earshot, whispers laced with doubt. Always deniable. The photos from that trip sealed my fate. Or so she believed. Simple snaps, the family at sunset, laughter around the campfire, Jake and me arm in arm against the vast red rock. But one shot caught her eye, a candid of me chatting with Jake's cousin, Luke, while adjusting my lens. We were both grinning at his kid's silly joke about scorpions. The angle made it look closer than it was, a touch on the shoulder that could be twisted into something more. 3 weeks later, I drove out to Victoria's ranch to deliver printed photos she'd requested for her den. The place was a monument to Western wealth, sprawling acres, stables with prize horses, a main house blending adobe and timber like a high-end resort. She met me at the door, her silver hair perfect, boots polished to a shine. "Emily, come to my office. We have matters to discuss." Her study screamed power, leather-bound books on land law, a desk carved from ancient oak, windows framing the snow-capped peaks. She stayed standing while I sat, a classic move I'd seen in corporate shoots. "Look at this," she said, sliding her tablet across. There was the Grand Canyon photo, cropped and filtered to scream intimacy. Quite the composition. My gut twisted, but I kept cool. "That's out of context."
Victoria.
Luke was just. "Context is what people make it," she cut in, swiping to more edited versions. Distances shrunk. Shadows deepened. Angles can lie, can't they? You of all people should know. "What are you after?" Her facade cracked, revealing steel beneath. "Delete every photo you've taken of this family. Vacations, gatherings, all of it from your drives, your backups, everything. Those are my work, my memories. They're liabilities. You think I don't see it? Building a collection of the Matthews clan, ready to peddle to gossip sites or leverage when Jake's inheritance kicks in next year." The accusation hit like a dust storm. "You're delusional." "I'd never. Or I'll send these to Jake's firm. Your clients. That eco-brand you're so fond of." She tapped a folder with printouts of my socials, contacts circled in red. "How long will your little freelance gig last when folks see you're the type to flirt with family on a getaway? A opportunist chasing ranch money. Jake won't buy it. Jake believes what I guide him to. Always has." Her voice dropped low. "His college sweetheart? I convinced him she was unfaithful." A few planted doubts. Some photos. He cut her off cold. My anger surged. This is blackmail. This is protecting my bloodline. She turned to the window, surveying her empire. 48 hours to wipe it all and show proof. Or these hit the wires with a mother's tale of her wayward daughter-in-law. Who gets the benefit of the doubt? Us Matthews. Rooted here since the gold rush. Or some drifter photographer? You're crossing a line. The only line crossed was Jake bringing you in. As I left, she added, "Don't cry to him. I've already sown seeds about you and Luke. How you linger a bit too long in conversation. Doubt's like wildfire out here, spreads fast." I drove back to Denver with knuckles white on the wheel. She'd declared war. But she'd also shown her hand. And in the West, you don't back down from a fight, you outsmart it. That night, I told Jake I had a twilight shoot for a tourism board. While he slept, I dug in. Why escalate now? The answer lurked in a recent gig, photos from a retirement bash for a Denver land attorney. In the backgrounds, Victoria's lawyer, Harlan Brooks, huddled with a stranger over papers. One shot caught a header, Matthews Family Trust Revision. Deeper dives revealed more. Victoria had borrowed my laptop at a ranch dinner to check emails, forgot to log out of her cloud.
Folle des galores, finance.
Deeds. And an insurance stash. Dirt on everyone, Jake's sister.
Mia.
At AA meetings, his dad.
Tom.
With a pre-divorce fling, Luke's contracting slip-ups. And estate emails plotting to tie Jake's trust to her veto post-marriage, dated before our engagement. One email chilled me. Harlan, speed it up. Emily's swaying him too much. He mentioned her as beneficiary. Get leverage or fabricate it. She'd engineered the whole mess. I snapped high-res pics of it all. Then a bombshell, A draft leak to a Denver gossip blog about my affair, timed for tomorrow. No real 48 hours, just destruction. A text pinged. Keep digging. And it dropped sooner.
Ve.
She was monitoring. But that fear confirmed I had power. I pushed on, uncovering shady land deals, ranches flipped to shells, sold inflated to bankrupt buyers. Funds washed through Cayman accounts. Fraud. Evasion. The works. Next morning, Victoria called. Unearth anything fun. Dear? Plenty. You saw what I let you see. Protecting assets. But who's buying your story? A spiteful in-law with hacked files? That's a felony in Colorado. You logged in on my device. Prove it. She laughed. Time's up. Delete or vanish. She was right. Raw dumps would backfire. But photographers craft narratives. I'd weave hers into something undeniable. The family roundup was set for Sunday at the ranch, Victoria's monthly ritual of steak, stories, and subtle domination. I showed up early, helping Jake's aunt,
Rita.
set the picnic tables under the cottonwoods. Rita had always been warm, maybe because she'd endured Victoria's wrath during her own divorce years back. You look worn out. Honey, Rita said, eyeing me. Trouble in paradise? Before I could respond, voices leaked from Victoria's office.
Door ayar.
Harlan's drawl. Without a prenup. We're improvising. Those pics should break her. Offer a quiet settlement. Her kind folds quick. And if not, Victoria's tone was ice. Phase 2. Plant-proof. Luke's on board for the story. I'm wiping his permitting violations clean. My skin crawled. Luke. The easygoing ranch hand with a heart for his kids.
Blackmailed too.
Trust papers ready. Harlan went on. Post-divorce. Control reverts to you till he weds proper. That Dalton girl's still keen, old ranch stock. Knows the game. Papers rustled. Get Emily out by month's end. I slipped away, steadying my breath as I arranged Rita's apple pie. Family trickled in Mia. Guarded but sober. Luke. Eyes downcast. Tom. Distant. Jake. Squeezing my hand, blind to the storm. Victoria emerged with Harlan. Beaming. Emily. Early bird. How sweet. To him, safe travels. Actually, Harlan. Stick around, I said loud. Got something on the trust, and those 2018 land flips. Silence dropped like a boulder. Harlan paused. Emily. Jake frowned. I hooked my phone to the big screen TV in the great room. Victoria loved her gadgets. Thought we'd review Grand Canyon shots. Victoria insisted I delete but family deserves a look. Innocence first. Sunsets. Smiles. Then my covert audio from her call. Her kind folds quick. Stop this.
Victoria snapped.
The room stirred. What's this? Jake demanded. I played on, her plotting with Harlan. Blackmail files flashing Mia's meetings. Tom's affair. Luke's licenses. This is slander.
Victoria barked.
With your own words? Mia stepped up, trembling. You held my recovery over me for custody leverage. Luke nodded. And my business. You set up that violation trap. Documents scrolled. Emails. Land fraud. Tax dodges. You hacked me, Victoria accused. Prison time. Authorized access. Per Colorado law, I countered. Showing logs from my laptop. Your login? Your IP. Harlan bolted for the door. But Tom blocked him.
Stay.
We're not done. Jake stared.
Piecing it. Mom.
This true. Protecting you all, she insisted. From outsiders like her. The family erupted, accusations.
Tears.
Rita revealed old dirt Victoria held on her. 20 years I've danced to your tune. I called the authorities quietly earlier. Deputies arrived. Taking statements. No arrests yet. Evidence needed review. But Victoria's control cracked. That night, Jake confronted me at home. Why hide this? I tried handling it alone. But when she threatened everything, he pulled Victoria's text logs from his phone. She messaged me doubts about you and Luke. I shut it down.
But. God. Ink.
She's poison.
Vi tok till dawn.
Jake shared more, his dad's secret recordings of her manipulations post-divorce, aimed at shielding grandkids. He's with us.
So's Mia.
Luke. Ryan, wait. Jake handed a USB. Her off-books ledgers.
Copied years ago.
She hid ranch profits from IRS. We weren't just exposing. We were freeing a family. But I wanted humanity in it, not total ruin. Maybe force her to face herself. Victoria's annual ranch gala loomed, her 60th. Black tie under stars. Denver's elite rubbing elbows with cattle barons. Perfect stage.
I arrived solo.
In my wedding dress altered for the occasion. Feeling like a gunslinger at high noon.
Victoria.
In emerald silk, held court by the bonfire. Spotting me, her eyes narrowed. Emily. Wise to show. Brought your photos. I held a drive aloft. Public exchange? For that generous buyout to leave Jake. Guests murmured.
Sans signe spectacle.
She followed me to the stage.
Trapped.
Folks, I mic'd up. Victoria wanted a special share for her big day. Screenlit. Her audio. Plant infidelity. Luke corroborates.
Gasps. Victoria langt. Luke intercepted.
Time everyone heard.
On beak.
More. Blackmail files. Land scams. Fabricated, she yelled. Mia joined. Like you faked my instability? Screen shifted to fraud docs. Partners blanched. Phones out. Deputies emerged. Warrants ready. MS. Matthews. Questions on extortion. Fraud. You ratted to cops? She spat at me. Tom stepped forward. I did. Years of your games end tonight. Jake took the mic. It's all real.
Mom.
I've seen it. You manipulated us for control. I built this legacy. Tears streaked her makeup. No, Jake said softly. You poisoned it. As cuffs clicked, not full arrest, but detention for questioning, Victoria whispered. You'll pay. But in her eyes, I saw fracture. Not just defeat, realization. The fallout hit fast. Gala guests scattered. Boards called emergencies. By morning, her foundation ousted her. But we paused the avalanche. Jake visited her at the station.
Mom.
This stops if you cooperate.
Plea.
Get help, therapy for control issues. She scoffed. But crack showed. Harlan flipped, offering dirt for leniency. Family met sans her. Mia. She dangled my sobriety like a noose. Luke. Rigged my permits to own me. Tom. Gaslit me into thinking I was the villain. Rita. Held my secrets hostage. We agreed. Push for justice. But advocate rehab over max sentence. Lesson. Families heal when truth airs. Not berries. Victoria's lawyer pushed a deal. Guilty plea. Restitution. Mandatory counseling. She took it, facing house arrest. Asset forfeiture, but treatment. In court, she broke. I thought control kept us safe. Lost sight of love. Judge nodded. Redemption starts with accountability. Post-sentencing. She called Jake. Sorry doesn't cut it.
But
Thank you for pushing help. We visited the ranch, now family trust, free of her grip. Under aspens, we talked. No quick fixes, but seeds of mending. I kept one photo, Jake and me at the canyon, laughing free. Deleted the rest, not from fear, but closure. Our home felt lighter. Mountains standing guard. Jake held me. We didn't just win, we healed. The light lesson? Revenge burns out, mercy rebuilds. In the West, wide spaces teach forgiveness, room for second chances. Weeks blurred into a haze of legal wrangling and family reckonings. Victoria's case dominated Denver headlines. Ranch queen faces fraud rap, blackmail web unravels. Reporters camped outside our cabin, shouting questions about the photographer who toppled an empire. I dodged them, focusing on shoots that grounded me, portraits of resilient ranchers weathering droughts. Mirroring our own storm, Jake dove into the trust revisions, ensuring fair splits. No more strings, he vowed. Mia got funds for her kids' college, Luke. Startup cash for clean contracting, Tom. Peace from old debts Victoria had leveraged. But humanity crept in unexpected.
Victoria.
Under house arrest at a modest cabin, her ranch seized pending auction. Requested a visit. Jake hesitated. She wants to talk. Alone with you.
Eminencia.
My pulse raced. Why me? Says you're the one who saw through her. I drove up alone. The road winding through golden aspen groves. Fall light painted everything warm. A stark contrast to the chill inside. She answered the door.
No muck-up.
Hair loose, vulnerable, like a weathered fence post. Emily. Her voice lacked its edge. Coffee. We sat on the porch. Steam rising from mugs. I expected hate, she said. You had every right. I didn't do this for hate. For survival. Ours. The family's. She stared at the peaks. Grew up poor in Wyoming Dust Bowls. Built everything to protect what I earned. But protection became prison for everyone. Including you? A nod. Therapist says controls my trauma response. Dad left, Mom scraped by. Vowed my kids wouldn't suffer. Instead, I suffocated them. We talked hours, her forging ahead in male-dominated real estate. The paranoia that bred blackmail. Those files? Insurance against betrayal. But I betrayed first. Why the faked photos?
Fear.
You made Jake happy, independent. Threatened my hold. I shared my side. The rage. The digging. The choice to expose legally. Not vengefully. We pushed for counseling in your plea. Second chances matter.
Tears fell.
Didn't deserve it. No one does. That's grace. She handed a key. Hidden safe at the ranch. More docs, clean ones. Use for good. Back home. Jake waited. How'd it go? Steps forward. She's trying. He hugged me. You're better than I deserve. The safe yielded surprises, not dirt. But deeds gifting land to conservation groups, Jake's passion. Victoria's quiet amends. Mia's custody smoothed. X dropped claims after learning Victoria's manipulations. She convinced me Mia was unfit, he admitted. Now I see the real unfit one. Luke's business boomed. Ethics his selling point. Standing up freed me, he said at a family cookout, first without tension. Tom, open up over beers. She gaslit me for years. Therapy's helping me too. Even Rita shared, held my affair secret over me. Now my marriage mends, truth out. Media frenzy peaked with my interview on a local pod. Wasn't revenge. Exposing truth to heal wounds. Went viral. Boosting my photography series on Western resilience, featuring manipulation survivors. But cracks lingered. Victoria's sessions unearthed deep pain. She invited family one by one. With Jake, tears, apologies. I clipped your wings. Fly now. He forgave.
Cautiously.
Love you.
Mom.
But boundaries. Her trial loomed. Plea meant no full spectacle, but restitution hearings. She testified honestly. I committed fraud to build walls. Hurt those I loved most. Prosecutor pushed hard. But our letters advocated balance. Justice with rehab. Judge ruled. 2 years probation. Community service at women's shelters. Ongoing therapy. Assets sold. Proceeds to victims, including us, but we donated to land trusts. Post-ruling, Victoria hugged Jake outside court. Thank you for mercy. Turned to me. You taught me vulnerability's strength. We didn't erase scars, but soften them. Family gatherings shifted. Real laughs. Open talks. No more shadows. One evening, shooting sunset over the range. Jake joined. This our new normal? Better than normal. Honest. Lesson whispered in the wind. In vast western spaces. Holding grudges crowds the soul. Let go. Make room for growth. Months later, Victoria volunteered at a ranch rehab program, mentoring women on empowerment without control. Your story inspired, she wrote me. I framed that note beside our canyon photo, the one keeper. Symbols of endurance. Life flowed on. My work thrived. Jake's cases won ground. But the real win? A family reborn, humane in its healing. As winter blanketed the Rockies in snow, our world settled into a rhythm of renewal. The ranch auction brought closure, bought by a conservation group, preserving it as open space. Victoria attended. Bittersweet. Built it with sweat and schemes. Now it serves better purpose. She moved to a small bungalow in Boulder, closer for therapy and family visits. Weekly dinners started tentative. Potlucks.
No agendas.
Mia brought kids. Luke. Stories from sites. Tom shared fishing tales.
Rito biegt país.
Victoria opened first. Session today dug up old fears. Sharing helps. We listened.
No judgment.
Jake squeezed my hand under the table. My photography evolved. Exhibits on family dynamics. Drawing crowds. One reviewer. Carter captures the drama of the human heart against Western wilds. But personal growth mattered more. Jake and I hiked trails. Talking dreams. Kid someday, he mused. When ready.
No ruse.
Victoria's probation included speaking at women's groups. I ruled with fear. Lost everything, but gained truth. Attendees approached me after one. Your mercy changed her. Inspired me to forgive my own manipulator. Ripple effect spread. A former partner, hit by her fraud, dropped a civil suit after her apology and partial payback. She's changed. That's enough. Legal clarity shone through. DA praised our evidence handling. No vigilantism, propecha neus pravanta vigarmas. Harlan faced his own charges.
Disbarred.
Flipped on others, Jake noted. Chain reaction. Family bonds strengthened. Mia and I bonded over coffee. You saved my sobriety's dignity. Luke confided. Wife says I'm lighter now. No more secrets weighing. Tom and Victoria even shared civil words at a grandkid's birthday, first in years. One storm hit. Tabloid dredged old dirt, twisting my role as vengeful in-law. Victoria defended publicly. Emily exposed to heal, not harm. I earned consequences. Her statement went viral, shifting narrative to redemption. Spring thawed. We planted a garden at home, symbol of growth. Victoria helped. Dirt under nails. Never gardened. Always delegated. Hands on heels, I said. She paused. Thank you for not destroying me. You destroyed the walls yourself. We just held the door. Jake watched,
Smiling.
proud of us all. A light lesson bloomed. Drama roots in unspoken pain. Dialogue uproots it. In the West's harsh beauty, resilience comes from bending, not breaking. My series culminated in a book, Shuttered Secrets, Proceeds to Abuse Hotlines. Launch party at a Denver gallery, family attended, Victoria included. To Emily, she toasted. For focusing on hope. Cheers echoed. No perfect ending, but humane one. Scars fade when light hits them. As the gallery buzzed, strangers shared stories. Your tale gave me courage to confront my controlling parent.
Victoria pulled me aside.
I'm writing my own account for therapy. Mind reading? Gladly. Her draft raw. Admissions. Regrets.
Growth.
Publish if helps others. We did. Co-authored epilogue on forgiveness. Summer brought full circle. Family trip to Yellowstone. Not Grand Canyon echoes, but new memories. Laughter real. Photos candid, no deletions. Victoria captured one. Us all by geysers.
Keep this.
Good times deserve preserving. Back home, Jake and I stargazed on the porch. From Blackmail to this. Wild ride. Worth it. Learned mercy's the ultimate revenge, sets everyone free. Stars twinkled agreement. In vast night, small acts of humanity light the way. With the book out, interviews rolled in national pods, even a spot on a morning show. How'd you choose mercy over mayhem? Hosts asked. Revenge consumes, healing sustains. Like the West cycles, drought to rain. Victoria joined one segment remotely. Emily's grace saved me from myself. Lesson: control illusions shatter, connection endures. Ratings soared, but we grounded in routine. I shot a wedding at the old ranch, now eco-retreat. Couples posed where drama once brewed. Full circle, Jake said. Family evolved, group therapy sessions, voluntary. Victoria led apologies. We shared impacts. Mia, your hold made me doubt my strength. Now I own it. Luke, blackmail stole my pride. Reclaimed it. Tom, gaslighting eroded trust. Rebuilding. Rita, secrets silenced me. Voice found. Jake, manipulated my choices. Now mine. Me. Threats aimed to erase me. Instead, empowered.
Victoria wept.
I see the damage. Committed to repair. Bonds mended slowly. Holidays genuine.
No undercurrents.
Personal milestone. Positive pregnancy test. Shared with Victoria first. Tentatively. Her eyes softened. A grandbaby. Vowed to be better, present, not possessive. We believe you. Birth months later. A girl.
Sierra.
Victoria held her. Tears flowing. New start. She volunteered more. Starting a support group for controlling behaviors. Your story's catalyst. My work shifted to family portraits, capturing authentic joy. One evening, poring over old files, I deleted the last remnants, not from force, but freedom. Jake, proud, immensely. We turned poison to medicine. Light lesson crystallized. In family dramas, vengeance cycles pain, compassion breaks it. Like western rivers carving canyons, persistent flow shapes beauty from rock. Years on, Sierra played at the ranch preserve.
Victoria.
Graying gracefully. Told stories, honest ones. Once, I built walls. Your mom taught me bridges last longer. Laughter echoed. No perfect tale, but ours. Humane. Logical. Close to heart. In America's West, where horizons stretch endless, so does hope for redemption. As Sierra grew, family traditions bloomed, annual canyon hikes, honoring origins. Victoria's group expanded, helping dozens. Reflecting on that delete button moment, I smiled. What started as erasure became revelation. Jake and I, under stars, best unexpected consequence. Indeed. Love wins when we choose it. End of story. Full circle.